get ready to hear one of my favourite themes in the entire game. Starting now. So awesome, both that line and the theme. It's just amazing. And yes, this here, they're gonna give a cursory line to explain why Jess wasn't in the first game, but she is the new character for Green Earth. And, well, anyway, I honestly, this theme really sums up the main mood of the Green Earth campaign to me. It just really evokes that feeling of, the situation looks hopeless, but we will endure. I just love it, it's just amazing. But yeah, it seems Eagle and Jess don't get along very well. We'll be seeing more of that a bit later on. And Green Earth's 3 commanders, they actually balance everything out pretty well. I mean, the 3 of them together, they've covered just about everything except infantry, and about that, well... But first, Eagle said he could take back the country himself. Why don't we test that claim? I say we volunteer him for first mission. So yes, not only that, but this mission is also a very good introduction to just how much more of a threat Hawk is than any of the other people we've fought so far. So yeah, watch this. Yep, he knew we were coming. Not only that, he knew we'd send all air units. And he's gonna take precautions. Sorry, I had to be silent there because seriously, best deployment theme ever! Seriously, the Green Earth Move Out theme, I just love that so much. And for some reason, Green Earth's generic infantry sprites aren't, glitched out on my emulator for some reason. But, yeah, looks like Eagle's already in a really bad situation. But, his guys are gonna be all Leroy Jenkins here. Well, at least they seem to be pretty confident in their abilities. He's right, sir, I may have the exact same portrait as that other guy, but, yeah. But, yep, his men kind of want him to go through this. So, I've got a lot to talk about in this mission. So, anyway, this one here is basically like Showstopper, except with no fog of war, and with you using all air units, and your enemy having a gigantic force of anti-air units. Yep. So to win this one, you have to destroy the 8 mini-cannons, just like that one. But first, let's talk about our new characters here. Eagle here is obviously an air specialist. All of his air units have 15% extra offense and 10% extra defense. They also burn 2 units less fuel per day, so that's actually pretty cool. But as a consequence, his naval units are terrible. Seriously, they have one of the biggest firepower penalties in the entire game. They lose 30% attack power, so Eagle's navy is pretty much useless. However, that's not a problem here, because we don't actually have any navy. So you might think, hey, Eagle's got all air units here, so surely, there's no way you can possibly lose this. Well, actually, yeah, things are still going to be a bit of an uphill battle, because as you can see, Hawk is a hell of a lot smarter than anyone we've fought so far, and, well, he knew we were attacking with air units and has sent an entire force of anti-airs against us. Not only that, but Hawk is, well, extremely dangerous. Yep, we have a new Black Hole CO for the very first time, so I guess I'm going to have to explain him. Meet Hawk, this game's resident Knight of Cerberus. Seriously, even his theme tells you that he's not messing around. It's one of the darkest sounding themes so far, and it really helps for, you know, the kind of thing he is, basically. Now, Hawk. Hawk has 10% extra offense on all his units, with no other penalties aside from the fact that his power meter takes a lot longer to charge than most people. That's actually not really that much of a deal here, because the The campaign designers have loaded his forces with massively expensive units, so his power charges ridiculously quickly anyway. Speaking of powers charging quickly, well, as you can see here, I already have my normal power. But as you can also see, you might notice that Eagle's normal power is very small in terms of the meter, but his super meter is massive. Have we met someone else who had something like that? Oh crap, he's got his normal. Okay, right, change of plans. I'm breaking commentary here, because what I need to do here is, I have to do as much damage as possible to him. I need to make sure that he does so much damage, he starts to go for his super rather than his normal. Because Hawk's powers are extremely deadly. Especially here, and you'll see why once he uses one of them, which inevitably will end up happening. Okay, he's got a little bit into his super meter, which means hopefully he will be saving up for his super now. At this point, what you want to do is avoid giving him his super at all costs. The main key to this mission, here is, both of your power meters will accumulate freakishly quickly here, because you're fighting with a lot of very expensive units. Again, the key to this mission, make sure you get your power before Hawk gets his. That is the key to this. And because of that, I am deliberately holding off on attacking his copters. Yes, there is a very good reason for that, which you will see soon, because I found in a lot of my test runs of this, if Hawk uses his super before you use yours, you're basically screwed. Hawk's super is extremely dangerous to you on a map like this, and I'll get around to that once I start explaining how his super actually works. But for the time being, just know, I'm going to let him go for me first, because, and not destroy those, because I'm really paranoid. Anyway, hopefully he does not use his normal power here. Please don't. Thank you. Okay, that's good. He only has 2 more stars to go in his super, which is very bad for us. But hopefully, letting him get the first strike on us, these copters are sadly kind of expendable. Now, admittedly, Eagle's air units get plus 10% defense, and that actually cancels out Hawk's offense bonus, so that's actually kind of cool, but still, you do have to worry a bit, because he's almost got his super. Now, very soon, though, I will have mine. I almost have mine, however, chances are he's going to get his during this turn, but I'm also going to get mine during my turn. With Eagle's superpower, it doesn't really matter when in your turn you get your power. If you get it mid-turn, that actually probably is going to benefit you. You see, with Eagle's power, you want to use it at the very end of your turn if possible. Eagle's superpower is probably the one most notable thing about him, and the most infamous, believe me. Even in the first game it was infamous. Yep, I've got it. Now all I need to do here is do as much with my units as I can in the space of this turn, and then get ready. And I don't need to worry if I put my units in range of cannons or his units. In fact, I'm going to advance as many of my units forward as possible. You might be thinking, what? Why the hell are you doing this? This seems extremely stupid at first glance. And it would be, if I didn't know how Eagle's super worked. Yep, for those of you who don't know what Eagle's super is, you're in for a treat, believe me. It is, honestly, possibly the single most fun superpower in the entire game. And there is a very good reason why it has a huge meter required to charge it. Seriously, there is a very good reason for that. And you're about to find out. Just only a few more moments before I get to use it. And then, well, again, you're in for a treat, seriously. But, like I said, you want to make sure that you get yours before Hawk gets his. I find that is the one key to this mission. Well, actually, one of 2 keys. The other key is joining units. You're about to find out what the importance of joining units is after Hawk uses his power. But anyway, I've moved all my units. Surely my turn is over, right? Let's just go ahead and use the super. Why would he say all units ready for attack? They've all moved, right? Well, you're about to witness the sheer terror that is Lightning Strike. Yep, Lightning Strike enables all of your units who have already moved that turn to move and attack again. that turn. Which effectively gives you 2 moves of carnage. If you've played Fire Emblem, think of this as a dancer effect on your entire army at once. Yep, that's pretty damn insane, isn't it? Really insane. And that's the reason why Eagle's Super takes such a long time to charge up. And by far, it's actually the main reason to use Eagle, actually. Like, again, if you're using Eagle, chances are it's probably for Lightning Strike. I mean, his air units' increased firepower is nice and all, but Lightning Strike is really the main thing that he has going for him. And, those missiles actually cover themselves quite well. I'm not going to be able to get that bomber in without going in range of them. That's actually really annoying. Now, I'll talk a little bit about the setup of this mission later. You want to be careful what you destroy here, because if you destroy that cannon, anti-airs are going to be able to move up and hit your bombers. Unless they can actually get around those beaches, can they? Actually, I think they can't. No, they can't, unless you destroy the cannons, yeah. But also, not only do Eagle's units, basically all units that aren't infantry get to move again. They kind of thought that infantry being able to move again would be kind of too broken. Or at least they did until they made a certain tag power in Dual Strike. We'll get into that, a bit later. Let's just say that, Eagle has a certain, relationship with another one of the characters we've met so far, who also has a totally broken superpower. And it is glorious, trust me. But for the time being, we'll save talking about that until later. For now, well, the problem with this is you have to contain yourself that you may lose a few units here. It's very difficult to actually get in here and do enough damage without losing at least some units. Now, like I've shown you before, Battlecopters actually do quite a sizable amount of damage to cruisers, and you will want to take out these cruisers as fast as possible. Now, the other problem here is, if Hawk has some units left that are heavily weakened, you might want to actually finish them off. Pro tip, because otherwise, you might be thinking, oh, they're only 1 HP left, they're totally not a threat. Oh boy, believe me, they will be soon. They will be, trust me. And because of that, I might want to take these things out. Again, like, I'm not sure if I fully managed to finish saying this, but, not only do Eagle's units get to move again, but his air units actually get an extra 15% offense and 20% defense, putting them up to 30-30, basically making them on par with Kande's, but, you also get 2 moves in the space of a single turn, so, yeah, Eagle's Super is extremely dangerous, if you haven't already guessed that by now. It's, yeah, pretty insane. Now, next turn, however, we will also be meeting with another, oh great, one of my bombers is in range, and it's going to get weakened even more because, well, you'll see. But, oh, and I really don't like leaving that cruiser alive because, there's a chance that it's going to actually prove a threat to us. When you're fighting Hawk, get ready for this. The high moments generally come at the end of your turn if you've used your super. The lows come when it comes around to his turn. We've been on a massive high this turn, really. Like, things have been looking really up for us, it seems. I mean, Eagle's Super is pretty insane. Unfortunately, things are about to get a bit darker. I didn't call Hawk this game's resident Knight of Cerberus for nothing. The moment he shows up, you know things are going to get darker. In fact, even his super quote is just downright terrifying. Yep, that's all he needs to say. This is Black Storm. Simple in effect, absolutely terrifying though nonetheless. What it does is, all of your units lose 2 HP. All of his units recover 2 HP. Might sound, a bit underpowered. It's not, believe me. It's actually incredibly dangerous, as you can see here. And it's even more dangerous on a map like this. As you've probably noticed, we have nowhere to resupply or repair our units at all. Which means, any damage that Hawk does with Black Storm is permanent. Permanent, except for one thing. Remember how I mentioned before that joining units is crucial in this mission? Well, that's why. You really need to rely on joining here to make up your extra HP. And you will need to join your units a lot, because you'll need as many full HP bombers as you can for this mission. Because Eagle's full HP bombers, even without the effect of his power, are capable of taking out cannons in one shot. And that is really necessary if you're going for a good ranking on this mission. In fact, you probably want to destroy the cannons as fast as possible anyway, because, well, yeah, they're going to be doing a number of your forces anyway, and, well, getting shot by a cannon here is irreparable, completely irreparable. So, that is very annoying. From now on, now that Hawk Super has kind of, now that the storm is basically over, it's time that we, well, moved in and started doing a little bit of damage. Things are going to get a bit better for us from this point on, but we don't want to risk our bombers going in range of those cannons. Probably better to use our slightly more expendable transportcopters, battlecopters to damage these things quite heavily. Now, if I'm really unlucky, Hawk will get his normal power again later in this mission. That would be very bad. But, okay, good, Bomber is not in range. Bomber probably is in range of the other cannon. Yeah, take note of those cannons on land there, because they often hit, you're often in range of them when you don't realize it. They can get kind of annoying. This mission, I must say, is very fast-paced, and if you don't have a this actually gave me a lot of trouble when I first played, because if you don't have a good strategy for this, it is very fast-paced, like I said, very intense, and if you don't have a good strategy for this one, you will most likely end up getting totally slaughtered. I mean, Hawk is extremely smart, and yeah, like I'm saying before, you don't really want to destroy these mini cannons on land yet until you are able to bomb those anti-airs, or render those anti-airs a non-issue by taking out all 4 of the mini cannons in one turn so that they can't actually get to you at all. Now, Hawk has ample funds to repair his units, so you'll need to watch out for that. And yep, massive volley from those cannons there, and oh, great, 5 HP missiles is actually going to be quite bad. Yeah, get used to some of your units being reduced to low HP, but remember, joining is your friend. Now, one more thing I kind of want to say. You might notice that I didn't talk about Eagle's normal power at all. Now, it's kind of interesting. Eagle's normal power has actually changed with just about every iteration of the series. In this game, his normal power works a bit weirdly, and it's something that at first you'd think, oh, why would I want to use that if I can use my super? All his normal power does is gives his air units the same offense and defense boost as his super does, but without the move again for a turn. Again, you're probably thinking, why would I ever want to sacrifice the ability to go for the super to do that? Why? Why would I not want Lightning Strike? Well, that's the thing. Lightning Drive, which is the name of Eagle's normal power, actually has quite a few strengths to it. The main strength to it is, in fact, the fact that it isn't Lightning Strike. Just bear with me on this. In multiplayer games, this can be a huge advantage. Often your opponent will very rarely see Lightning Drive coming, and that's where its main benefit lies. Again, main advantage of Lightning Drive is simply the fact that it's not Lightning Strike, and most people, when they see you play Eagle, they will generally expect you to go for Lightning Strike. It is the main reason to use Eagle, and for that reason, Lightning Drive has a really good surprise factor behind it, and that can really help in multiplayer games and the like when they really don't see it coming. However, against the AI, where, you know, prediction and outmaneuvering doesn't, outplaying them doesn't really come into play that much because they're going to know everything you're doing anyway. Doesn't really matter that much. However, sometimes you really need a boost to air units just to take them just over the edge to make sure, for example, that you can take out a bunch of cannons in one turn when you really need it. And for that reason, Lightning Drive is still very useful. Only in the right situations, though. Generally speaking, I would advise you to go for Lightning Strike in most cases. Oh, that's just short of taking this thing out, actually. And if I do take it out, then the anti-airs are going to take out that bomber and most likely copter as well, so that's probably not that much of a good idea. But as you can see here, even your heavily weakened units can still play a part here. Even a 1 HP bomber controlled by Eagle still does 10% damage to these things, and sometimes that can make all the difference. But again, the main reason of 1 HP bombers is to join. And again, the other reason joining is your friend here is because if you don't join, you'll seriously run the risk of running out of fuel. Even with Eagle's increased, decreased fuel consumption, you're still heavily running the risk of running out of fuel if you don't start joining here, so I would recommend doing that. So, if there are only 2 things you need to know about this mission, 1, get your super before Hawk gets his. 2, joining is your friend. Back when I first played this game, where I always hated the join command. I mean, it's understandable. You think, why would you want to lose a unit just to, you know, restore the health and stuff of another unit? It was only when I started going for S ranks here that I just found how useful joining is, and as you can see there, I've now got a couple of units closer to full strength now, all thanks to joining. And again, joining will not impact your technique ranking, so don't worry about that. It will lower the total number of units that are on the field, but it won't count as a unit lost, so that's actually pretty good. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm basically biding my time and waiting for a moment when I can smash all of these cannons simultaneously. That's kind of what I want to do, because if I don't do that, then, well, these anti-airs are going to run rampant through us. They're no threat to you if they don't get if you haven't taken out these cannons, because again, the cannons are actually blocking them from getting to you. If you do take out the cannons, though, these anti-airs can get to you, and that is kind of annoying. Now, I admit I did lose out on the speed ranking a little bit here. I probably could have done this a bit faster, maybe, but if I had maybe sacrificed a few of my units to those anti-airs just to get a few of these cannons down quickly. But for the time being, okay, 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, and, drumroll please, 4 down! There we go! All 4 out. If there's one thing that I'll say about this mission, one more thing, it's that it seems hopeless at first glance. Don't worry. Formulate a strategy, be calm, get through this, and you can do this. And that's really the main thing about Green Earth, really. Green Earth, the whole campaign itself is a lot darker than... and that line is particularly appropriate considering that this is the first mission we're doing. The atmosphere here is a lot darker than anything before, and the missions are a lot harder. And this is a unique artwork, by the way. No other mission will have this artwork on the results screen. Lost a little on speed, but the rest of it is kind of fine. But, yeah. Green Earth in general is a lot darker than the other campaigns, and the missions are a lot harder. But if you persevere, you will get through it, and it will feel all the more satisfying. I honestly love Green Earth, and next time we'll be seeing even more of it. See you then!